Alright, we got a tornado warning. Whoa. Oh, come on the ground here. Alright, the storm's over. I think. Let's continue on.
My name is Michael Potts, and I live on this Scepter 36-foot sailboat, and this is where I am today. This is Jupiter, and over the last 6 months, I've taken my boat all the way from Toronto, Canada, down to Florida, across to the Bahamas, and back. Right now, the hurricane season is approaching, and I need to get my boat out of the water and onto a secure location to avoid the stormy weather and hurricanes here in Florida. So in this video, we're heading towards Indiantown Marina, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why I chose this place and how to get there. Let's get into the video. It's a beautiful morning here in Jupiter. Look at this. So I had a feeling, I was like, yeah, we should pull over here, but because I actually haven't had a keyboard for my computer for like a week because it got wet and it fried some of the buttons. So there's a Publix, a mobile, and a computer store right there. So that's great. So it's 8:30 right now, or 8:15. Oh, there's a boat coming in. Looks like a Beneteau. So I'm gonna up the anchor and we're gonna go over here, drop our hook, and go into town and get what we need. Deep in the heart of Florida here. There's lizards everywhere, cops busting people. Typical America. Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny winter day, which in Canada this would be considered middle of summer weather. Anyway, we're gonna go up, grab a keyboard, and go to Publix. So I managed to get this suitcase here. Just thinking ahead, right? I have to travel back to Toronto. I got this for 30 bucks, and I got a new keyboard for 5 bucks. That's a pretty good deal, eh? So, and there's full of groceries in here. That's gonna be my last provision run of the season. So now all we gotta do is get back to Indiantown, or get to Indiantown, and get the boat on the hard and safe, you know? Insurance is already paid up. I just got to go see them at Indiantown and make it official, you know what I mean? So once I do that, then I'm gonna take an Uber to Fort Lauderdale and to get a flight home to Canada. So it's gonna be interesting. Stick around. Well, I got my case tied up here. Evie's over there. Let's go back to the boat. Okay, so we're almost at Indiantown. There's only 36.5 nautical miles left. So we're here right now. And we got to get up the Indian River. I think I'll try to get to here tonight. Maybe anchor here. And then do the other 20 tomorrow. Regardless, it's the 18th and the boat goes in the water on the 24th. So yeah, we got to get going here. Let's do this. So I'm in a place called Hell Gate, which is on the St. Lucie River. So I gotta get that way through that bridge and I'll be a little closer to Indiantown Marina. Indiantown Marina is still 22 nautical miles away. It's halfway between here and Lake Okeechobee, which is that way. So we gotta cover some distance today. There's a lock I need to go through. So sadly, I don't wanna go. You know, I want to turn around and just go back to the Bahamas, but just, you know, it would be nice if I didn't have to go back to work, but we just have to. So I'm so excited to come back here already. Oh, it's crazy, but well, we got to do what we got to do. Let's go through that bridge and around the corner and get as far as we can. Let's knock out another 15 nautical miles so that we're really close to Indiantown and see where we're at, because the boat's got to go on the hard and that's going to be a lot of work. All right. Going through that bridge right there, where there's a railroad bridge as well, and as I was, just before I went through, the railroad bridge started closing. My God. So I gunned it and made it through. Holy, that was a heart-pounding experience, because I thought the bridge was going to come down on my mast. Nuts. Jesus. All right, we're almost at the anchorage here. Sails are up. Doing 5 knots. Turn the engine off, we'll get into this anchorage over here. All right, we got problems. So that bridge right there says 52 feet right now. It's just high tide right now. So that's a problem. I'm gonna have to wait until 2 o'clock. If I go through there, so I'm gonna have to wait for the tide to go down. All right, I'm gonna anchor and wait. I'm not gonna risk doing anything crazy right now. The current's going this way towards the bridge. All right, so let's anchor and wait for the tide to go down. All right, so right there is the Palm City Bridge, and its vertical clearance is 54 feet. My mast is 53, okay, plus 8 inches of, so it's gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna have to go through there at low tide. So I just went there right now and trying to get to Indiantown, and right away it's high tide right now, so it's at 53. So gonna have to wait. So I'm back at this anchorage just waiting. I'm gonna have to wait till about 3 o'clock. And I'm gonna give it another try. I'm gonna go look at all the rest of the bridges. I looked at this before, but it was a long time ago. So yeah, hopefully we can get into this place, because I don't know what I'm gonna do if I can't. So it's 3.5 hours later, and according to my calculations, we're 1.7 feet lower than we were 3.5 hours, which it said it was at 53, so it should be at 55.5 feet, which should be enough for us to get this mast under that bridge. So let's go see what it looks like. Let's go take a look. The good news is the tide's coming at us now, so we're not going to get forced under the bridge. We can slowly creep up to it and get under the bridge successfully. All right. 54 feet 2 inches. Jesus. 54 feet 6 inches, I bet. I'm willing to bet. So, alright, let's just see what happens here. We're good. So I saw the antenna hit, right? So oh man. Alright. Let's give it some throttle. I think we made it. Oh. Alright, we're good. Next bridge is 56 feet, so I think we'll be alright, and we're going into low tide, so let's move on. Let's get to Indian Town. Oh man, heart's pounding. So the GPS is wrong. This is the middle of the channel, I can tell. If I go to the port, it gets shallower. If I go to the starboard, it gets shallower. But I'm right in the center of the channel there. And I'm just kind of doing about 2.5 knots, 8 feet of water. It's a bit of a wind, which could work to my advantage. If I do go on the ground, I can put the sails up and hike over and get off it, right? And we're approaching low tide. So if I can get off, I will get off eventually later tonight, but 7 feet 9. All right, we're doing all right. All right, I just spoke with the motor yacht Lamb, and he said that there is areas that go as far as 6 feet, but everything's about 8 feet all the way to the lock. So he's coming through at Okeechobee. I think we're gonna be all right. I mean, there's still a lot of bridges. It's just that last bridge is my major concern. Steve Cantwell told me that back in the day, they used to hire a guy with a barrel, and they would tie a huge barrel to your halyard, and it would tip the boat over, and they'd pull you under the bridge. So apparently since then they've dredged it a bit, and that's what the Indian Town people are saying. So I think we're gonna be all right. We're coming up on another bridge now, right there. Let's get under it. This one's 56 feet high. All right, this bridge is saying 54 feet, so a little over, pretty much the same as the last one. I'm pretty confident. I'm just gonna blast on through. 13 feet of depth here, so it's actually not so bad. Pretty confident we'll be able to get through here. 54 and a bit. So I did see my antenna scrape on that last bridge. You never know, maybe the guy measured it wrong, right? So I'm actually gonna take it slower and blast through here. So after this, there'll be 3 bridges left, and that's it. That's the entire passage done, you know, like Toronto to the Bahamas, baby. Just wanted to talk a little bit about what I've been thinking lately as we go under this bridge, all right? What about, where do I want to go next season? Look at this. So where do I want to go? I think we should go back out, down to Key West, hop over to like Cuba, and go to Cancun and all the way down to San Blas. That's what I want to do. I've been dreaming about it, drooling over maps. And yeah, 53, 54, 55, we're good here. So, wow, that would be one hell of a passage, you know? Maybe we could even do, all right, I better slow down. All right, let's see how close we get here. It's always scary. Oh man. right. Oh man, yeah, we're all right. Yeah. Seems to me like all the famous YouTubers, sailing YouTubers, are in that area. San Blas, Boca del Toro. So I think it's really inexpensive down there to keep your boat on the hard. Groceries are relatively expensive. It's not in America, it's in Mexico, right? Or in Belize. So everything's cheap. That's what I've been thinking. You know, we could easily do that. You know, we could be going back through this bridge 6 months from now, heading to Cancun, Mexico. I'd love to be able to do that. So in the meantime, let's get into Indian Town. So I was in Atlantic City, and I actually got my mast caught under a bridge. And you can watch that video. Just click the link in the top right screen there, and you can see what happened for yourself. So I guess I'm a little overly cautious when it comes to bridges, and that's why I'm cautious here. And you should always be cautious, because the instruments on the top of your mast are very easy to break. So don't hit the underside of any bridges. Always check your tables. Oh, successful bridge. All right. So on the waterway guide, just up here past this bridge, it says that there's some issues with depth just before the locks on the starboard side. So one more bridge. That'll be it for tonight. The locks close at 4:30, and you can get the lock on channel 13, which I'll do in the morning. It'd be great to continue on and get to, we don't need to though, right? So just gonna relax and get to this lock, drop the hook, we'll be all right.
Nowhere to be found, but I keep looking for it. Out of my sight, but I keep looking for it.
The story of the Okeechobee Waterway begins in the early 20th century, when visionaries saw the potential of connecting Florida's east and west coasts, providing a vital shortcut for trade and transportation. It was an audacious dream that demanded conquering one of nature's mightiest obstacles, Lake Okeechobee. In the 1930s, under President Franklin D. Roosevelt's administration, the ambitious Okeechobee Waterway project took shape. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers led the charge, undertaking the monumental task of dredging a navigable route across the state. The dedicated workers toiled tirelessly, laboring through swamps and marshes, shaping the channels, and creating a system of locks to tame the mighty lake. Their relentless efforts bore fruit, and on March 23, 1937, the Okeechobee Waterway was officially opened, forever transforming Florida's transportation landscape. With the completion of the waterway, vessels could now journey from the Atlantic Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico and vice versa, bypassing the treacherous journey around the Florida Keys. A new era of commerce and exploration dawned upon the region, bringing economic prosperity and connecting communities along the waterway.
Sailboat at anchor in front of the lock to the lock. Come in, lock. Anyway, I'm gonna try and get in this. I'm at the lock. It's the morning. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my anchor and enter the lock. Is that okay?
Sir, we're currently in a westbound chamber. I'll need you to pull up your anchor and then set out in front of Phipps Park in the chamber, in front of the chamber doors. As soon as we get this westbounder done, we'll drop the chamber for you again. So you got about 25 minutes. But I need the anchor up and you in front.
Understood. So I'll be up and wait in front of the chamber in about 10 minutes. Copy that.
Copy, sir. Set up for a port tie.
Port tie up. Understood. Yeah, so Indian Town's just beyond that lock right there. About 5 nautical miles, so I'm gonna get through and go from there. All right, so I've been given permission to go in the lock. The lock doors are opening right now. And I said it's gonna be a port tie-up. And I'm gonna follow, he wants me to follow this boat in and tie up on the port side. Now, I've done many locks in my day, okay, many, hundreds. So it's been a while. I was gonna fly the drone, but it's a little windy and have it follow me in, but it's too windy for it. Though I could probably get away with it. I just don't want to get in trouble, to be honest. The American government, they just don't screw around. The guy would report me for operating a drone while operating a vessel.
Doors are opening, coming on the green light. Be aware that you have a westerly wind. I'll be tossing my stern first.
Okay, so, all right, let's get into this. Let's get into this lock and get it on into Indian Town.
So let's talk about locks. When I sailed across Lake Ontario and did the Erie and Oswego Canal, I must have done 80 or more locks, single-handed, and my boat's, 9 registered tons, 36 feet long. And what did I learn from that experience? And can you do locks single-handedly? You can, absolutely, if you have the right gear. Get yourself a lot of rope, get yourself gloves, and a long pole, like a painter's pole of some sort, so you can push your boat off if you need to. Don't do any locks on windy days. So I had some trouble with wind in the locks because the movement of the water, all that water rushing in, will actually push your boat around. And the problem is it's not really damaging your own boat, it's damaging someone else's boat. There could be like a really super expensive yacht in front of you, and you smash into it just from the movement of the water, or you lose control of your boat. So you have to be careful. Now, after doing 80 locks, I got really good at it. And one thing I noticed too is the green algae will stain your bumpers, and it'll get onto your deck, dripping down, and it will stain your deck. So you can just make sure you have a bucket on hand to wash that material off your deck so it doesn't stain it. And just be careful. I mean, if you have questions, just ask the lockmaster on the radio. Say, hey, listen, I'm inexperienced. This is my first time through a lock. What do you suggest I do? So I would go to the center of the boat and hold a rope around. They usually have these like poles. Hold a rope around the poles with 2 hands, and if you have to, adjust the bow and the stern with a pole. So I had my dinghy hanging off the back of the lock, so often the dinghy engine would hit the side of the lock. That's not good. I'd definitely do it differently next time I went down the Oswego or the Erie. But it can be done single-handedly. Would I do it in a boat above 38 feet? No way. 9 registered tons is what my boat is. I managed to be able to control it with the pole. Depends on how heavy your boat is. So I suggest you have at least more than one person if you're going to do big locks, lots of locks, with a boat over 40 feet. So that's it for this week's video. Next episode, we're going to go into Indian Town and put EV on the hard. I'm going to talk about how much that cost, what it takes to do that, and you get an idea of what it takes to store your boat in the hurricane season in Florida and why I chose that marina. So thanks for everyone that made it this far in the video. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You can look me up on Patreon, Sailing EV. And that's it. Captain Michael signing out. We'll see you next week.